With the release of Ben Affleck's new movie The Way Back, I thought it'd be cool to revisit one of his forgotten titles, Paycheck, a sci-fi movie that is not perfect, it has a lot of flaws, but is actually pretty well directed by John Woo, a director that is known for directing action. Welcome to Dumb Down, a show where we summarize movies in hopes of understanding them better. Today, we dumb down Paycheck. Meet Michael Jennings, an engineer who works in creating new tech products for big companies. He gets paid well, but there's a catch. In this futuristic world where the movie is set in, your memory can be wiped to assure that nothing about the product gets leaked. So it is as if you never worked for the company. He typically gives up 2 to 3 months of his life in exchange for money. But he's going to get an offer he can't refuse, by an old friend that wants something involving lasers. He will get the biggest paycheck of his life, but he's going to have to give up not 2 or 3 months, but 2 to 3 years of his life. Oh, before I forget, he briefly meets a woman who might have a romantic interest in him. She's played by Uma Thurman. I want you to remember her, because she's going to be important later in the movie.
Okay, USA.
So Michael thinks about it for a bit, and decides to do it, What the heck, 2 or 3 years is not that much, and I'm going to get a whole lot of money. We as the audience don't get to see what actually happens in those 3 years. But Michael wakes up not remember anything of it. And as agreed, he goes home to his computer and checks the amount of money he got. Man, if I had that money, I don't know what I would do. But I know what this guy would do.
Bunch of hookers and cocaine.
As soon as he gets to the bank and starts talking to the clerk about where the money's supposed to go, she gives him a look, saying, "You don't have any money. You forfeited all your shares." Michael, who is upset by the notion, I would be too, that's a lot of money that he's giving away. But there's a meaning to all of this. Michael discovers that each of the items that are in a parcel right next to him were exchanged for the money, and each are needed to move forward in discovering the truth.
What truth?
The truth being that Michael was used to create a machine that can predict the future, which raises a lot of questions, because as we know, most movies about time travel have flaws. And this one, which is not about time travel but time prediction, has a few. But the biggest problem I have is with Aaron Eckhart's character, the friend who offered the job to Michael. How is he going to profit out of this machine? Is he going to put these in malls like they do with those massage chairs? Like, hey, pay $25 to see your future. And how accurate can it be? How would you know the future? And if you did, wouldn't you want to alter that future? Meaning that if you did alter it, then that machine's not very good at predicting the future. Am I right?
Shut the fuck up. No one cares. Know your fucking place, trash.
Well, I'm not shutting up because that's exactly what happens. Michael gets questioned by the police and the machine predicts his death. But everything happens differently. At the interrogation, one of the cops uses a cigarette that triggers the smoke detector. Since Michael had the parcel, he uses glasses that allow him to see through the smoke. How convenient.
Wow, how convenient is fucking that?
So Michael manages to escape, and we find out that right before he left the lab, he placed a bug that doesn't allow anyone to use the time prediction device. As the film progresses, we see the envelope helping Michael out in several different situations.
He sent himself a different set of personal items, ones he'd selected after using the machine and nothing our security would flag.
Everyday things. Combined with the power of foresight, transform Michael from engineer to escape artist.
And remember how I told you not to forget about Uma Thurman? Well, they in fact did have a romantic relationship after all. But sadly, he doesn't remember anything of it. Either way, as much as I like the movie and the action that we get to see, the one thing I have a hard time with is the chemistry between Uma Thurman and Ben Affleck. I just cannot buy it. They look like completely opposites. And I know opposites attract, but it doesn't work in this movie. Eventually, Michael gets back to the lab, we get a nice action sequence, and Aaron Eckhart dies. Michael uses a bullet that was the last item in the parcel and uses it to destroy the very terrible time prediction machine. And from here we assume both live happily ever after. But no, we find out that he left himself one more thing. Remember that he forfeited all the money in exchange of all those items? Well, he also gave himself a winning lottery number with a nice chunk of change. So things turned out just fine. He has his life back, he has Uma Thurman, and he has a bunch of money. Oh, and I forgot to mention, Paul Giamatti's in this movie for no reason at all. He's just the third wheel in all of this. Anyway, this movie was pretty entertaining. It has a lot of flaws, but it has a lot of good action sequences from John Woo. This was Paycheck Dumbed Down. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share with all your friends. See ya! Bye!
Get the fuck out of here now.
If you want any more of that, you can come by and see us again, yeah?